Today we're going to use the ESP32-S3 Bluetooth to send and receive data through an Android app. I'll be using the Freenove ESP32-S3. It's a great option for IoT projects with an enhanced processor, memory, storage, and peripheral support. Their website is freenove.com, where you can see the various robot kits, Arduino and Raspberry Pi kits, and ESP32-S3 kits. And on their website you can find tutorials for each one of these kits that they sell, including ESP32-S3 that we'll be using today. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and download this tutorial here and extract everything from the zip file. I won't be using many components for this video. I'll be using the ESP32-S3 board, a breadboard, a 5mm LED, a 220 ohm resistor, the DHT11 temperature humidity sensor, and some jumper wires. I ordered the Freenove board from Amazon, and it came with a number of items in the box, including this USB stick, which I couldn't get my computer to read. It also came with a 1GB micro SD card. It came with some information about where to download the tutorial and support contact. It also came with a USB Type-C cable. It came in its box, and of course it came with the ESP32-S3 board. I downloaded the basic kit for the ESP32-S3, and this is what you get. You get these three folders, and just click on the ESP32, and then I extracted this. And here what you want to do is go to the data sheet, and this gives you a really handy pinout, which you will appreciate when you start putting these things together. So we'll keep that open. And you can also go up to this folder here, and it's got all kinds of data sheets and reference manuals, which is pretty nice to have. But anyway, you can look at that on your own if you need to. So we'll back out of this, and then we'll go down to the C folder, and this is the tutorial right here. And then you got your sketches and your libraries, all the libraries that you'll need for this tutorial. There are just a couple quick things we need to do before we begin. Assuming that you've already downloaded the Arduino IDE, go up to File, go down to Preferences, and come right down here. You want to make sure that this is listed in the additional board manager URL box. Next we're going to click OK and OK. The next thing you want to do is go up here to Boards Manager, click on Boards Manager icon, type in ESP32, and you'll see this one right here, ESP32 by Espressif Systems. Install that. Once that is installed, you want to go over here and you want to make sure that you're using board ESP32-S3 dev module. And if that's not there, you can go down here and type it in, ESP32, not 332, and scroll down a little bit. And this one right here. Alright, and of course if it were plugged in, we'd have a port to choose from, and then you click OK. Now our first setup here is actually included in the tutorial packet. If you purchase the Freenove ESP32-S3 board, you may notice that the board is an odd width, and that's why I have one power rail as a spacer between two breadboards. So if you want to use a breadboard, you may have to do something like this, or just buy one of the breakout boards so that it fits properly. The setup here is pretty easy. What I'm doing is connecting a 220 ohm resistor to pin 2 of the board and connecting the other end of that to the positive leg of an LED. The negative leg of the LED will connect to our ground pin on the ESP32. Once it's all connected, that's what you have right there. You should have all of these libraries if you downloaded the Freenove tutorial. Next we see global variables used to manage Bluetooth communications and device functionality. The UUIDs are unique identifiers for the BLE service and characteristics. It's for sending and receiving data. The LED is connected to pin 2. My server callbacks handle events for BLE connections and disconnections. My callbacks processes write requests to the RX characteristic and stores received data into the RX load. The setup BLE function initializes the BLE device with a specific name. It also creates a BLE server and sets up services and characteristics with specific UUIDs, and then it starts advertising the BLE service. In the setup is where we set up the hardware configuration and initialize serial communication and the BLE service. We set the loop to continually check for new data and process commands like turning on and off the LED, and also manage device connection status. Now it's time to upload the code to our board. And you'll find the code in the comment section below and also on the Facebook page, so check for that in the description. We are using an app called LightBlue, so go ahead and download that if you need to. We're going to connect to the ESP32, and once connected we're going to scroll down here to Notify. Click on Notify, And we're going to change the data format to UTF-8 string. And now we're going to click subscribe. And now we're going to go back to the previous menu and click on writable at the bottom. Here we're going to change the data format to the UTF-8 string. UTF-8 string just allows us to encode language into byte format so the computers can process it and store it. Now we're just going to scroll down here and just type in LED on under the written values section. And that should turn our, if I type it correctly, turn on our LED. Now if I turn on LED off, it should turn it off. And each time you want to turn it on and off, you just type that and hit send. For the next setup, we'll go ahead and use the DHT11 temperature sensor, temperature and humidity sensor. It's got 3 pins. It's got a positive, it's got an output pin, which is the data line, and then it's got the negative pin. So we will use the ground pin from the previous setup that we had, and we'll use the 3 volt pin because it can operate on 3 volt to 5 volt. So this is fine. Put that right there, and then we'll use pin 15, if I can see it, as the data pin. Alright, then we'll plug this in into our breadboard right here, just like that. Then we'll go over to our code. You'll notice in this sketch we're not using the string library anymore, but we're now using the DHT library for the temperature sensor. Another difference is in the MyServer callbacks class, there's a trigger for when the phone disconnects from the ESP32. The function then immediately starts advertising again, which allows the phone to automatically reconnect when it becomes active again. This way you don't have to reboot your ESP32 every time it disconnects from the phone app. So our first sketch primarily handled commands from a device control, while this one focuses on reading from a sensor and transmitting data. If we scroll down to the loop, we can see that it periodically reads temperature and humidity data from the DHT sensor and formats and sends this data over BLE as notifications. And we use delays to manage the frequency of sensor readings and data updates. And we'll make sure we have the correct board selected in the IDE, and we'll upload our sketch. It may take a little bit of time, but I'm fast forwarding this. And then we start our LightBlue app again, and we log into the ESP32-S3, just the same as we did before. And once we're in, we're going to go down to Notify, click Notify. I'm going to change the data format to UTF-8 string and subscribe. And then as we scroll down here to the bottom, we should be able to see, there it is, the temperature and humidity, and that will post every 5 seconds. And if your phone disconnects because it goes to sleep, you don't have to reboot your board. You can just turn your phone back on and reconnect through the app, which is pretty nice. So this isn't the most exciting project you can do with ESP32, but it is a good way to get to familiarize yourself with the board. But if I were just going to do a project as simple as this, I would use Arduino IoT Cloud.
Well, thank you for watching. If you found the video helpful, be sure to like it by clicking the thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you again very soon with another video.